It was a big season for the Nature Journal show. We filled lots of pages. We nature journaled in some crazy places. Tried nature journaling in new extreme ways. Got bit by snakes.
Okay.
And even had some cappuccinos. Do you remember how I flew on New Year's Eve to get to Bocas del Toro Archipelago in Panama? It's a fascinating chain of islands, and I even did a video about sketching this landscape there. But the real reason I went there was to get a training in canopy access because I wanted to learn if it was possible to nature journal high in the rainforest canopy. There were some amazing dart frogs to nature journal there. Remember this episode?
One of the important things, if not the most important thing in nature journaling, is to try to follow your curiosity. So don't just draw or nature journal the things that you know are going to create a beautiful page or that are easier to create an aesthetic page. Try to nature journal the things that you're actually interested in.
As you can see, this season had lots of tips on techniques and art supplies, but also a lot about the bigger picture, how to follow your curiosity, how to develop the right mindset, and even while I was hanging in the rainforest canopy, I peppered the episodes with tips that you can apply to your nature journaling at home. While I was at this science field station learning how to climb trees and developing nature journaling techniques for the rainforest canopy, I also had the opportunity to enjoy the amazing biodiversity of this location, and I even got to teach an impromptu class for a group of biology students from a university in Texas that were visiting at the science field station. The canopy, the rainforest canopy, is an endangered, very endangered ecosystem around the world, and species are being lost there before we can even identify them. So I think this is a cutting edge place to bring nature journaling to help save the planet's biodiversity. After a month of sweating and feeding the mosquitoes in the trees, it was time to come down. On my way back, I met with a Patreon member in Costa Rica and did some urban sketching there. If you're a member, hit me up when I'm in your area. Then it was time to fly back to Southern California, and I went straight to the desert in one of the most biodiverse counties in all of the USA. That's right, and it was time for the super bloom. Lots of cool botanical stuff going on, lots of beautiful landscapes. I filmed a whole Skillshare class, hopefully you'll check it out, and videos for you, such as this episode called Beyond Botanical Illustration.
Curiosity and question asking and dopamine driven pursuit of learning that we cultivate in nature journaling can be applied in any field.
As usual, I shared lots of useful tips with you, such as how you can use an agave plant to hold your watercolor palette. Later, I ran into this lady that had an amazing plein air painting setup that she could attach to her bike. She designed it herself and built all the panniers and stuff like that. I interviewed her about her setup, and this was one of the most popular videos I uploaded to YouTube all year. Be sure to check it out. She is an amazing woman. After that, it was time to head back to the city, and I met up with an urban sketching group in San Diego and did this sketch here. It came out better than I was expecting. That doesn't always happen. The most important thing is practice, and look at those thumbnails. I did some nature journaling at the San Diego Zoo, and then it was time to upload an episode about how to use maps in your nature journal. I hope you liked that episode. But not everything went smoothly on this season of the Nature Journal show.
This is terrible. This is one of the most uncomfortable places, physically uncomfortable, that I've nature.
Besides stumbling on my words, stumbling on cliffs, dropping pins from the rainforest canopy, and having bad hair days, I also had some camera issues. Hee hee!
I haven't even started talking about the watercolor yet, even though this is supposed to be a video about watercolor. But guess what? The most important thing that is going to make...
But perhaps the funniest fail of all was when I was pumping our pneumatic air gun to get a line up into a tree and my pants ripped. When you're in the rainforest for a month and only have 2 pairs of pants and you have to walk back bare-crotched through the spiny palms, then you realize how funny it is. Back in the San Francisco Bay Area, I got to do an episode about nature journaling meetups in person.
So, can you show me some of your pages that you just did on this outing and maybe talk about an example of that parallax and how different people saw the same thing differently?
Okay, so here's my, I got 2 pages so far today. And then here, where everybody was observing the turkey vulture picking at a carcass. And I was like, well, this is they're kind of in the loop as well. It's like, we have a food chain of the carcass and turkey vulture, and the nature journalist feasting on the spectacle and nourishing themselves emotionally and intellectually. And then I guess you say, I'm outside the group.
Yeah.
So I'm a meta observer.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of feeding on the spectacle of the nature journalist.
So Eli, what do you like, or how do you feel about nature journaling in person meetups?
I love nature journaling in person because I get to be a social butterfly and see all the people that I enjoy spending time with, and get to see all the work that they're doing in person and get inspired in the moment watching people draw or watching people ask questions. And cluster around something like they're doing right now. They found something in the bushes and everybody ran over there, and it's just all exciting.
There were some other exciting moments in Northern California that I gotta share with you this season.
This poop is really cool and everything, but something just doesn't feel right. Like, this is not what I came here for. I need to go find that landscape. Screw this. Let's go.
Playing with poop, climbing sketchy redwood logs, nature journaling in a waterfall, and coming up with fun journaling prompts to work on our self-awareness.
Was it the compliments you got from your friends and family? Probably not. So let's do a journaling prompt real quick, answering that question, describing what got us turned on about nature journaling in the first place. In addition to listening to what people have to say and share when you're nature journaling at a place like a nursery, you can also turn all that into a comic. So those conversations are really fun to try to turn into a sort of comic narrative format. And now I have that information so that I remember it better, but also looks cool on my page and adds more variation instead of, like I said, just drawing a plant, doing a species profile, writing down the scientific name is the most boring thing that you can actually do.
Speaking of boring, I almost stepped on a rattlesnake while filming my landscape painting Skillshare class.
Holy cow. As you can see, that rattlesnake wants to have nothing to do with me and is in fact probably afraid that I could kill it, and it has more to fear for me than I of it. So it's right here next to the path, and it really quickly warned me and got out of the way. So be respectful and pay attention, but don't kill or fear for no reason. This class is your opportunity to learn how to quickly and easily paint watercolor landscapes on the go.
What? You couldn't hear what I was saying? The audio was too messed up by the ocean sound? Unfortunately, I filmed a bunch of great footage for my landscape painting Skillshare class out at this really great location in Northern California. It took me a long time to get there, and it took a long time to set up all of these cinematic shots, which I ended up not being able to use very much in my class because the sound was so bad. But I did get to do some other fun stuff for that class. That class ended up being the biggest video project I worked on all year, with footage from multiple continents. I thought I would finish before going to the Galapagos Islands, but I couldn't. It was time to say goodbye to the verdant landscapes and golden super bloom of California spring and head to the Galapagos. This time I was going to be working with a group of kids in an education program, teaching nature journaling and other skills. It was not that bad of a job, even though I didn't get paid that much, and it helped me make a bunch of videos while I was in Galapagos. Here's some of the fun stuff that I got to do with the kids. It was really inspiring, and here's one of the videos that I got to film while I was there. 13 reasons why you will quit nature journaling. Reason number 1, you are too focused on the destination. This is really common for beginner nature journalers. Reason number 2, you never even got started. Believe it or not, this is actually very common. A lot of people that watch my nature journaling videos online have never started nature journaling yet. Hopefully that's not you. If it is, start now. Reason number 3 might be the secret killer that causes the majority of nature journalers to quit, and that is, whoops, you'll have to watch that episode to get the other reasons. I did get an opportunity to nature journal in some cool places I had never been in Galapagos. Check out how the sea lion was chilling next to me while I did this landscape ito. Also did a couple episodes for the show, nature journaling marine iguanas and land iguanas. Check out how cool these things are. It was super humid where I was living and mold grew on my passport and all of my other stuff. But I did get to go down to the beach and film episodes such as this one. Look at that marine iguana swimming. How cool is that? There's a whole episode on nature journaling marine iguanas and other stuff in the intertidal zone in the Galapagos. Make sure you watch that episode. For some reason, some of these Galapagos episodes didn't get that many views, even though I put a lot of work into them, and it seems like a really cool subject matter. Maybe it was because of my lucky Lonesome George socks, but I got to witness something really cool that I've never seen before. A Galapagos tortoise drinking water. This is one of the things that Charles Darwin apparently observed and wrote about, and so I started sketching the animal and pretty soon realized that this was not only a great opportunity to do some sketches, but to do some observations and measurements. I used my phone stopwatch feature to measure how long the turtle would hold its head underwater for to drink, which was super cool and a very cool and unique learning experience. The time in Galapagos was very productive. In addition to making videos for you on the Nature Journal show, I also made some podcasts for my Patreon members, and I got to teach nature journaling to the next generation of kids in Galapagos, somewhere where it counts. I was back to California for the fall and made a couple really fun videos in the fall, including how to do birding from your car. The Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference was also in the fall, and that was very intense and a full time for the Nature Journal show. As you know, I also had a minor burnout during that period because I was trying to do too much, make too many videos, do a Nature Journal challenge, and take all the classes at Wild Wonder. The Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference is here, and I just wanted to share my virtual nature journaling studio. Got a little sink right here so I can make tea, which is very important. All my watercolor stuff covering the rest of the sink. Here you can see where I put my journal, where I film, where I can watch the presentations and manage my calendar. I've got my blow dryer, all my watercolors, extra gear in here, and everything else that I need. Yep, that was a little bit crazy. I was living in a bus and doing Wild Wonder. So I had a little bit of a burnout and had to reflect on my own connection to nature before it was time to head back to Latin America. This time I'm going to mainland Ecuador for a birding festival. I did make a couple videos while I was there and a Skillshare class. This video was how to use nature journaling as homework for birding. It was a great opportunity to spread nature journaling at this birding festival. Can you see where I am in the crowd of birders? I think that South American birders are a perfect demographic to share nature journaling because nature journaling spread really rapidly among birders in North America. I got a nature journal on some of the amazing outings, including this outing at night. This was really testing what's possible in nature journaling in the dark and nature journaling in really wet conditions in the cloud forest. We were looking for owls and any other nocturnal birds on this outing. So I also got to feed the wildlife. Nature journaling on the outings during the birding event was a real adventure, including when our bus broke down one time, and I think practicing nature journaling alongside birders or other muggles is a really good way to practice. I even got a nature journal these oil birds, which are one of the only birds that I know of where you can traditionally light the entire bird on fire and use it as a torch when entering caves. I haven't personally tried that, but that's supposedly what they are used for. Then, as soon as that event was over, it was out of Ecuador and off to Colombia to explore some new potential nature journaling spots. So I flew from Quito to Medellin. It was pouring rain when I got there, and I had a really scary taxi ride on my way to the first place where I was staying. Did a bunch of urban sketching in Medellin, even though I didn't make any videos. And then I was off to the coastal beach. And it was very loud and a party scene, but look at the landscapes. That is the reason why I'm here, because these beautiful landscapes where the Santa Marta mountain range comes into the Caribbean Sea is a beautiful place to sketch some landscapes. I got a lot of filming done here, and I made several episodes and podcasts for all of you.
I don't think I'm on private property, but just to be safe, I'm gonna go for a really quick landscape painting.
I said I was going to do a quick landscape painting because I thought maybe I was trespassing and it was a little bit sketchy, but ended up taking forever, but came out good.
Okay. I had to sit uncomfortably close to some yucky smelling stuff, but I think it was worth it. The sun was beating on me. There was cool birds in the background. I saw a life bird while painting this, which is really cool. A pearly vented toddy flycatcher. I didn't get to see its pearly vent, but that sounds intriguing.
I didn't get to see the pearly vent on the pearly vented flycatcher, but I did get a really cool close-up on some orioles doing a call and response. Made a fun video about nature journaling birds versus plants because I was bouncing back and forth between these amazing cacti and the amazing birds. Pretty soon it was time to go to another part of Colombia and have another scary taxi drive. It's okay listening to loud reggaeton and holding on for dear life while going around turns through the Colombian mountains is a really good way to break up all the nature journaling. There were a lot of snakes on the Nature Journal show this season. I hope you like snakes or have learned some about them. Definitely don't mess around with them unless you know what they are.
Yay, finally caught a snake. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. These ones are technically slightly venomous. And just like that, it's gone. Look how fast that thing moves through the bushes. So, got me a little bit of blood there. And I think some of these can have a slightly, they're not technically non-venomous, but they're medically insignificant.
Later on the same trip, I saw another snake. This one definitely medically significant and in fact the most dangerous snake in all of the neotropics, Bothrops asper. I was coming out of a creek that I was swimming in and I saw it right next to my sandals. I ran up to my hotel room, grabbed my nature journaling stuff, and managed to get some sketches in of it before the bugs drove me out of there. Because I had the headlamp on my head, all the bugs were going to my face, but had a really great time, really exciting moment. My heart was pounding like crazy. Here you can see the way the snake is camouflaged right next to this rock. My sandals were very, very close to this spot, but look at the page that I got, nature journaling this one. This was on one of my last days in Colombia, so I was really excited that I got to find this snake. But next, I'm off to Costa Rica, and I'm going to be teaching a series of nature journaling teacher trainings, the first of their kind ever offered in Costa Rica. Tons of environmental educators from all over the country came to the 4 different workshops I did. I offered these workshops for free in Spanish because I want to spread nature journaling among educators in tropical biodiverse countries such as Costa Rica. However, the Organization for Tropical Studies did provide me with some free nights to stay at their science field stations. These science field stations are one of my favorite places to nature journal, film, and work from. One day while I was working on my computer editing a video for you, some people noticed my lovely sticker from Eli and asked if I wanted to go out looking for reptiles and amphibians that night. I went out with them, and even though they were muggles, I did manage to get some sketching in. We even saw some of these eyelash palm pit vipers, and I got to nature journal them multiple times, including a video that I made for all of you. Check out how cool this snake is. Nature journaling these in the middle of the night, in the middle of the rainforest, while it's all humid and everything and there's bugs biting you, is really the culmination of nature journaling for me. I definitely spent lots of time walking around in that forest at night. So much humidity, so many bugs. By the time it was time to leave, I was grateful to go to another part of Costa Rica where it was dry, and I got to spend a lot of time on the beach for the Nature Journal Beach Vacation. 9 nature journalers joined me in Guanacaste, Costa Rica for a week of nature journaling. We got to see thousands of turtles laying eggs on the beach. This was a mass sea turtle movement, and it was a really fun nature journaling group and nature journaling class to wrap up the year. There will be another one of these next year, so if you want to go on a nature journaling beach vacation in Costa Rica, stay tuned for that coming up next year. What was your favorite part of season 3 of the Nature Journal Show? Let me know in the comments what your favorite episode was. All in all, I think it was a pretty good year, pretty good season. It's almost 2024. It's going to be season 4 of the Nature Journal Show coming soon. Lots of changes coming up in season 4. Bye.